Welcome to Shaping the Future. Industry 4.0's transformation of manufacturing and engineering careers by 2030. Today, we explore how advancements in technology are revolutionizing these industries and what students can do to stay ahead in this rapidly changing landscape. Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, is powered by smart technologies like the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and robotics. But what does this mean for the future of jobs?
Essentially, IR 4.0, in my opinion, is a basket of all these latest concepts or latest developments, which includes robotics to an extent, AI to an extent, like you mentioned IoT, Internet of Things to an extent, right? Which is essentially your gadgets or your equipment, your household equipment, etc., being able to talk and or being able to communicate. It's a two-way communication wherein and they can seem intelligent, not intelligent, but seem to do things without you telling it to do it in that particular period of time, something of that sort, right? If you ask me in oil and gas, right, at this point, it's still in extremely nascent stages, I would say. I mean, when if you bucket this as your IR 4.0, in oil and gas, it's in extremely nascent stages, right? Oil and gas is still at the point where, yeah, I mean, manufacturing is being, let's say, mechanized, right? More and more manufacturing centers are, working with robotic arms, but then it's not AI code. It's basically okay, do this and this much time, and then you basically move back and you pick this up and then again do it. It's basically a simple code that makes it do it. So more and more manufacturers are being mechanized, but it's not at the point where you're telling it, okay, you do this, look at the outcome, right? Is the outcome an ideal outcome or not? If it is not, then you make this correction. I mean, that's essentially what AI is. You make this correction and then you repeat it with the correction, and now you see how far your output is from the ideal output.
We asked experts, what are the top 3 Industry 4.0 advancements shaping the future of these industries?
Question. Personally, I think the sensor technology is most important in the IR4 technology, because when we talk about IR4, basically they are actually focusing on the smart factory. So in order for the factory to become smart, yeah, of course the sensor is the most important thing is actually the sensor itself.
With these advancements, job roles are evolving and new skills are in demand. Let's hear what experts suggest students should focus on.
Number one, decision-making skills. So you can use AI to give you suggestions, right? But you still need that human element to basically say, okay, this is what has happened so far. This are the options in front of us. This seems to be the best way forward because of these reasons. You still need that decision-making power or emotional intelligence, whatever you may call it, right? You still need that to make that decision. So I think decision-making skills and roles which require decision-making will stay.
So one is real-time data analysis, and you can call it something like predictive maintenance. So this is which I see. Second is which I'm seeing is something called remote operations. So now, even for our company where we work, we operate more than 100 plants in Southeast Asia from Malaysia office itself. So we have something called remote operation center, and that remote operation center, we can operate more than 100 plants, 100 sites. So we really don't need a lot of people, sitting at the site. These ROCs or remote operation centers are really going to make big impact, and that you will see more and more coming up, especially in the manufacturing sector. And the third is something called advanced operations. Advanced operation means I don't know, you heard about these terms like digital twins or real-time optimization of data. So I would say these are going to make a big change. And the third is I would see, especially in manufacturing, it will also be driven by a lot of EVs, in future, because we are changing from fossil fuels to more renewable fuels, and that's, you will see a big trend. So there will be a lot of demand for EVs. Yeah. So these are the 3 main impact, I would say.
While Industry 4.0 offers immense potential, companies face significant challenges, particularly in Malaysia.
I mean, first and foremost, I think the I mean, people still don't have an idea today of what would be the benefit versus the investment that is needed. I don't think there is clarity on that, right? So, where do you see rapid adoption of AI? It's mostly in the tech space, in the technology space, in the cutting edge technology space. The reason for that is because there is no, I mean, it's new anyway. You want to innovate, fail, again innovate, and fail. So the concept there is you fail fast, you keep innovating, and the thing, and again, AI gives you that edge that it can basically do something 100 times when a human can do it like 10 times, right? That's the value that it gives you. In a sector like oil and gas, number one, you cannot fail, because if you fail, then you end up with massive losses and penalties, right? And also, not to mention safety issues, right? So you have something that is working perfectly today. You are not trying to innovate something completely new, right? So there is something that is tried, tested, working, right? It's very hard to go in and say something like, I'm just gonna dismantle this entire thing and rebuild this entire thing, and which that comes with a certain level of risk, which is unknown at this point, and it's gonna cost me, I don't know, $10 million of investment, and I don't know how quickly that investment would pay out, right? So all those unknowns, in my opinion, is what will prevent or slow down the adoption rate.
In a globalized world, understanding local and international markets is vital. So how can students prepare themselves for these changes? Here are some advice from our experts.
I think the most important thing is actually the attitude. The attitude is number one. Yeah? And then the patient to explore everything. Yeah? It's not only about the technical stuff. If you're sitting in the managerial level, then you should focus on the managerial level, things like that. So the passion to improve your skills day to day is very important. When I look into the resume or CV of the candidates, I will look into their activities in university, especially. So
Try to do some expertise in, let's say, advanced manufacturing or remote operations. Try to, as I said earlier, try to understand how this cloud computing works. What are the different ways to analyze the data? So student should and do some certification, which is just outside your course, nothing to do with your course. Even, for example, social media. Now, social media is very important because there are a lot of AI tools which drive the social media. So try to understand that how LinkedIn works. What are the ways to analyze data, and how these, whenever you put a post, how this is linked. So there are a lot of certification available, I would say. And this is not only for students, but this is also applicable for people like us who are in the industry for a long time. So students should definitely have a better opportunity to get this. And then the few other things is develop some soft skills, for example, how a different cultural communication works. So because now no country is on their own. We are in a global place where you have multi trade agreements, between countries. So you should try to understand how a different culture works. So cross cultural communication is very important.
Cross-disciplinary knowledge is increasingly important in the Industry 4.0 era. Combining engineering with fields like data science or business can give you a competitive edge.
Depends on your industry, how important it will be. But irrespective of industry, it is a strength to have, that's for sure. So what I mean by that is the ability to understand and analyze big data, right? Massive volumes of data, right? Especially if you are an industry which deals, it's primarily, let's say, business to consumer kind of industry. So meaning to say that you're dealing with millions and millions of customers, which means you have millions and millions or billions of data points for that matter. Extremely relevant, I would say, right? If you have a background in that, so let's say that you work for that company and you have the ability to outsource the analytics part to a third-party company. But even in that scenario, if you ask let's say the employee of that company has the know-how, you will add much more value to that discussion than being fully reliant on a third party, right? So the scales of how relevant it is can probably vary, but I think it will always continue to be a strength.
As Industry 4.0 transforms the landscape of manufacturing and engineering, staying adaptable, curious, and proactive will be key to success. The future is full of possibilities. Seize the opportunity.